Well,
So
they need
I've been,
context behind it, Tim, and that's what you gave. That's why I liked listening to that so much is because it wasn't that we just do this. I wanna know why. And you're
I've been
so good
accused
at
of my 2-day
explaining
program
why.
now being Tim Herron's grip clinic instead of
It
practical
could be.
performance. But it
It could
right.
be.
It's okay, like, I'm actually I'm totally okay with it.
Okay, so one more thing I wanna go over about it because I don't wanna stay in grip forever, but,
Sure.
we're gonna if we do that, we're gonna run out of time, and we're getting close to the Q&A session, guys, so if you have questions, drop those in the comments, we're gonna be getting to those later. So the next thing that I wrote down was, I wrote down, "One small deviation from a purely neutral position can affect your shooting," and then you said, "A majority of presentation issues have to do with support hand placement and grip pressures."
Mhm.
So, what is getting overlooked with the support hand? I feel like the support hand gets overlooked so much.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
with
We use the
most
dominant hand
shooters.
for everything, and really,
Mhm.
when you really break it down, the dominant hand, right, is responsible for a multitude of tasks. So it has to multitask in things. So you're asking that hand, right, to grasp the pistol, to be able to then place the pistol appropriately, kind of with in the right spot so that when the support hand starts to hold the gun, then that hand then is free, or even maybe to isolate that finger so that that finger can press the trigger without any other influence from the rest of the hand. And instead, what we try to do is we try to muscle the heck out of the gun with one hand, and we overgrip the gun with one hand, which then takes away the dexterity of that index finger to be able to isolate itself away from the rest of the hand. This is where a lot of low left issues come from if you're a right-handed shooter, or low and
Mhm.
right issues if you're a left-handed shooter, or a lot of horizontal stringing in our shooting. When we start to diagnose patterns that happen on targets, a lot of it is because of either an overabundance of grip pressure with the dominant hand or an imbalance of pressure between dominant and support hands. So the support hand itself, though, really has one job, and its job is to be the support for the pistol. It's not the hand along for the ride. It's not the hand that's supposed to just look like it's in the right spot on the gun. Its true job is it's got one job, and it's to grip the heck out of the pistol to keep the gun from moving while I'm manipulating the trigger any which way I want to, so that I can keep the sights or keep the dot aligned to the target.
Well, and
So
the
there's
reason why we have to grip so much more with the left hand, though, isn't it because we are dominantly well, I know you're not, you're left-handed, but
Sure.
for us right-handed dominant people, we that's the whole point. It's a dominant hand for a reason, probably has more strength anyway, and so don't we sort of have to, I wanna say overcompensate with the left hand,
No,
but don't we have to work even harder with the left hand?
you do at first, but you would be
Okay.
surprised. I put a grip dynamometer, on like the grip scale, like digital grip dynamometers, where you can grip it and it tells you how many pounds of pressure that you can squeeze with your hands.
Mhm.
I unless, now we're not talking about mobility issues or things like that, but, unless you've got a severe mobility issue, most people's grip strength, believe it or not, are within 10% of each other.
Really?
So even though you feel like, okay, I'm right-handed, I'm right hand dominant, I grip everything with my right hand, it's got more strength than my left hand. If you were to truly test both your hand grips with, on a dynamometer, both your you would be able to have pretty well equal grip pressures that you could
So is it
do.
psychological, Tim?
A lot of it is. It's not necessarily a musculature issue as much
Yeah.
as it's a nerve thing, right? So
Hmm.
you've got a complex of nerves that start, kind of at the brainstem and work themselves down the shoulder and all the way down to the hands. I believe it's called the brachial plexus, right? And so as we fire neural pathways, and not to get on a super scientific,
Myelination.
right, but as you fire neural pathways to each digit or each muscle in your hand, right, to grip things. This
Mhm.
is why at a very early age we learn what hand we like to do things with, and we become dominant based on those neural pathways, right, that have been myelinated to certain appendages or certain likes or dislikes. This is where we pick up eye dominance. This is where we pick up hand dominance. But it's not to say that we cannot learn or can't improve myelinating pathways to support hand, or just learning, like, the support hand doesn't have to need all of the isolation tendencies that we do with our dominant hand, right? The dominant hand's the one pressing the trigger. So the support hand really just gets to kind of be, as Mike Seekler would call, like, the big dumb muscle. Its job is to dominate or crush grip the gun so that the pistol doesn't move.
You make it sound so easy.
It is easy. It's just not.
Well, it's so crazy too that we could go into this kind of a deep dive on grip. And whenever I started watching your class, I didn't know what to expect, but I just couldn't believe just in that small portion. I didn't get through, anywhere past that. So I'm sure there's tons more gold nuggets down the road that I can't wait to get to.